Top 10 notable places purchased or acquired by countries, delving deeper into the historical context, motivations, and impacts. Number 1. Louisiana Purchase, 1803. The Louisiana Purchase was a monumental acquisition by the United States from France, negotiated under the presidency of Thomas Jefferson. For $15 million, the U.S. acquired approximately 828,000 square miles of territory, which stretched from the Mississippi River to the Rocky Mountains and from the Gulf of Mexico to Canada. This purchase doubled the size of the nation, significantly boosting its agricultural and economic potential. The territory included the land that would become 15 states, such as Louisiana, Missouri, Arkansas, Iowa, and Nebraska. The purchase also removed France as colonial presence, reducing European influence in North America. The exploration of this vast land, led by the Lewis and Clark expedition, provided valuable knowledge about the geography, flora, fauna, and indigenous people, laying the groundwork for westward expansion and manifest destiny. Number 2. Alaska Purchase, 1867. The Alaska Purchase, negotiated by Secretary of State William H. Seward, saw the United States acquired Alaska from Russia for $7.2 million, which equated to roughly 2 cents per acre. This addition of over 586,000 square miles of rugged and resource-rich terrain initially drew skepticism and was mockingly dubbed Seward's Folly. However, the discovery of gold in the late 19th century and oil in the 20th century proved Alaska's immense value. The region's vast natural resources, including timber, fisheries, and minerals, significantly contributed to the U.S. economy. Alaska's strategic location also played a crucial role during World War II and the Cold War, enhancing national security. Alaska achieved statehood in 1959, becoming the 49th state of the U.S. Number 3. Gadsden Purchase, 1853. The Gadsden Purchase involved the United States acquiring a 29,670 square mile region from Mexico for $10 million. This deal, orchestrated by U.S. Ambassador James Gadsden, was motivated by the desire to build a southern transcontinental railroad and to resolve lingering border issues following the Mexican-American War. The land acquired forms parts of present-day southern Arizona and southwestern New Mexico. The purchase facilitated the construction of the Southern Pacific Railroad, connecting the southern states to the west coast, which was vital for commerce and travel. This acquisition also solidified U.S. territorial claims and helped secure a more defined and manageable border with Mexico. Number 4. Svalbard Treaty, 1920. The Svalbard Treaty, signed in Paris in 1920, granted Norway sovereignty over the Svalbard archipelago, which is located in the Arctic Ocean. The treaty allowed citizens of signatory countries to engage in commercial activities, particularly mining, under Norwegian administration. The archipelago is known for its rich coal deposits and its strategic location in Arctic. The treaty ensured the demilitarization of Svalbard and has facilitated significant scientific research and environmental monitoring in the region. Norway's management has maintained a balance between economic activities and environmental conservation, promoting international cooperation in the Arctic. Number 5. United Nations Headquarters, 1946 to 1952. The site for the United Nations Headquarters in New York City was purchased with the donation of $8.5 million from John D. Rockefeller Jr. The US government facilitated this purchase and the construction of the complex, which is situated on an 18-acre site along the East River in Manhattan. Designed by an international team of architects led by Wallace Harrison, the headquarters officially opened in 1952. It includes the General Assembly Hall, the Secretary Building, and other facilities essential for the functioning of the UN. The headquarters serves as the principal office for the international diplomacy, hosting key meetings, negotiations, and peacekeeping initiatives. The location symbolizes international cooperation and commitment to maintaining global peace and security. Number 6. Panama Canal Zone, 1904 to 1979. The Panama Canal Zone was a 10-mile wide strip of land acquired by the United States through the Hay-Banau-Varela Treaty with Panama in 1903. The U.S. paid Panama $10 million upfront and an annual annuity for the rights to build and control the Panama Canal. The canal, completed in 1914, revolutionized global maritime trade by providing a shortcut between the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, significantly reducing the travel time for ships. The US controlled the canal zone until 1979, when the Torrijos-Carter treaties began the process of transferring control to Panama, completed in 1999. The canal remains a crucial artery for international shipping, highlighting its enduring economic and strategic importance. Number 7. Hong Kong Lease, 1898. The United Kingdom leased the new territories and northern Kowloon from China for 99 years, starting in 1898 under the Second Convention of Peking. This lease expanded British control over Hong Kong, which already included Hong Kong Island and southern Kowloon. During the lease period, Hong Kong developed into a major global financial center and trading hub. The region's economic growth was fueled by its strategic location, laissez-faire economic policies, and the influx of talent and capital. The lease's expiration in 1997 led to the handover of Hong Kong back to China, making the end of British colonial rule. Under the one country, two system principle, Hong Kong maintained a separate legal and economic system, preserving its status as a leading international financial center. Number 8. Texas Annexation, 1845. The annexation of the Republic of Texas by the United States in 1845 transformed Texas from an independent nation into the 28th U.S. state. Texas had declared independence from Mexico in 1836 after the Texas Revolution. The annexation was driven by the desire for U.S. territorial expansion and supported by pro-annexation factions within Texas. This move heightened tensions with Mexico, leading to the Mexican-American War in 1846. The war resulted in the U.S. acquiring significant additional territories, including present-day California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and Wyoming. The annexation and subsequent war significantly shaped the US-Mexico border and influenced the nation's expansionist policies. Number 9. Purchase of Danish West Indies, 1917. The United States purchased the Danish West Indies from Denmark for $25 million in gold, motivated by strategic concerns during World War I, renamed the U.S. Virgin Islands. This acquisition included the islands of St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix. The purchase aimed to prevent the islands from falling into German hands and to enhance U.S. military and economic presence in the Caribbean. The U.S. Virgin Islands have since become a key strategic territory, hosting significant military installations and attracting tourism due to their natural beauty, cultural heritage, and favorable climate. The island's economy relies heavily on tourism, trade, and manufacturing, contributing to the region's development. Number 10. Tierra del Fuego Agreement, 1881. The Tierra del Fuego Agreement between Argentina and Chile in 1881 resolved a long-standing territorial dispute by dividing the Tierra del Fuego archipelago. The agreement allocated the eastern part of Argentina and the western part of Chile, including the main island and several smaller ones. This settlement facilitated peaceful relations and cooperation between the two countries in a region rich in natural resources such as oil, gas, and marine biodiversity. The region's clear boundaries promoted stability and development, with both countries benefiting from the exploitation of its resources and the establishment of settlements. The agreement also paved the way for further diplomatic and economic cooperation in the southernmost part of South America. These acquisitions highlight the intricate interplay of strategic, economic, and political motivations that have shaped the history and development of nations. Each transaction not only altered the geographic boundaries but also had profound implications for international relations, economic development, and cultural exchange. Understanding these historical purchases and acquisitions is crucial for several reasons, as they have significantly influenced the political, economic, and cultural landscapes and the countries involved, and the world at large. Geopolitical strategy and influence. Expansion of territory. These acquisitions often resulted in significant territorial expansion, which allowed countries to increase their influence and power. For example, the Louisiana purchase doubled the size of United States, facilitating a westward expansion and solidifying its presence on the continent. Strategic advantages. Control over key locations such as the Panama Canal zone and Alaska provided strategic military and economic advantages. The Panama Canal, for instance, became a critical choke point for global maritime trade, significantly reducing shipping times and costs. Economic development, resource acquisition. Many acquisitions, like Alaska and Louisiana Purchase, brought vast natural resources under the control of the purchasing country. These resources spurred economic growth, supported industrialization, and contributed to national wealth. Infrastructure and trade. Acquisitions like the Gadsden Purchase facilitated the construction of crucial infrastructure such as railroads, which were essential for trade and economic integration. Cultural and demographic changes. Migration and settlement. New territories often attracted settlers, leading to significant demographic shifts. The settlement of the Louisiana Territory and Texas, for example, involved large-scale migration and the establishment of new communities. Cultural integration and conflict. These acquisitions sometimes led to the blending of cultures, but also to conflict with indigenous population and existing residents, as seen in the expansion into Native American lands and annexation of Texas. Legal and diplomatic precedents. Treaties and agreements. These purchases set important precedents in international law and diplomacy. Svalbard Treaty, for instance, established a unique legal framework for international cooperation in a strategically important region. Resolution of disputes. Agreements like the Tierra del Fuego settlement had resolved long-standing territorial disputes peacefully, fostering better relations between neighboring countries. National identity and sovereignty. Nation building. Acquisitions often played a critical role in shaping national identity and sovereignty. For example, the annexation of Texas was a key moment in U.S. history that influenced its expansionist policies and national self-image. Symbolic importance. The purchase and subsequent development of territories like the United Nations headquarters symbolized international cooperation and the commitment to global governance. Long-term global impact. Shaping modern borders. These transactions have had a lasting impact on the modern borders and political landscape of the world. The boundaries established through these acquisitions continue to define nations today. Economic and strategic roles. Many of these regions, such as Hong Kong and US Virgin Islands, remain economically and strategically vital on a global scale, affecting international trade, finance, and security. For example, Louisiana Purchase enabled the westward expansion of the US, significantly impacting the nation's development and contributing to its emergence as a major continental power. Alaska Purchase secured vast natural resources and strategic positioning, providing essential during the Cold War and significantly contributing to the US economy through oil production. Panama Canal Zone transformed global maritime trade routes, underscoring the importance of controlling key strategic waterways. Hong Kong Lease. The development of Hong Kong into a global financial hub under British rule illustrates the economic impact of such acquisitions and the complexities involved in sovereignty transfers. In summary, these purchases and acquisitions are critical to understanding the historical development of nations, their economic growth, geopolitical strategies, cultural integration, and the establishment of modern borders. They provide insights into how countries expand their influence, manage resources, and interact on the global stage. While the historical purchases and acquisitions of territories by countries brought numerous benefits, they also come with significant disadvantages and challenges. These include economic burdens, cultural conflicts, political repercussions, and environmental impacts. Economic burdens, financial costs. The immediate financial outlay for these acquisitions was substantial. For example, the Alaska purchase cost the 7.2 million US dollar, a considerable sum at that day. While many of these investments paid off in the long run, the initial cost could strain national finances. Development expenses. Newly acquired territories often required significant investment in infrastructure, administration, and services. The development of Louisiana Territory and Alaska involved substantial expenditure on transportation networks, communication systems, and public services. Cultural and social conflicts. Displacement of indigenous people. Many acquisitions resulted in the displacement of suffering of indigenous population. The westward expansion into the Louisiana Territory and the annexation of Texas led to the forced relocation and harsh treatment of Native American tribes. Cultural assimilation and loss. The imposition of new cultural, legal, and economic systems often led to the erosion of indigenous cultures and languages. This was evident in the assimilation policies pursued in territories like Alaska and the continental US. Political repercussions, international tensions. Acquisitions often led to diplomatic conflicts and wars. The annexation of Texas, for example, contributed to the Mexican-American War, which resulted in significant loss of life and strained US-Mexico relations for years. Colonial legacies. Some acquisitions were part of colonial expansions that left a legacy of resentment and political instability. The lease of Hong Kong and the control of the Panama Canal zone by the US are examples where local populations experienced political and economic domination by foreign powers. Environmental impact. Resource exploitation. The drive to exploit natural resources in acquired territories often led to environmental degradation. Alaska's oil drilling and mining operations, for instance, have had significant ecological impacts, including pollution and habitat destruction. Land use changes. The transformation of landscapes for agriculture, urban development, and infrastructure in places like the Louisiana Territory resulted in the alteration of natural ecosystems and loss of biodiversity. Administrative challenges. Governance issues. Integrating new territories posed administrative challenges such as establishing effective governance, legal systems, and law enforcement. Managing the diverse needs of new populations required significant bureaucratic efforts and resources. Resistance and rebellions. Newly acquired territories sometimes experienced resistance and rebellion against the new ruling authorities. For example, resistance movement in the Philippines following its acquisition by the US led to the Philippine-American War. Social inequities, inequity and exploitation. The economic benefits of these acquisitions were often unevenly distributed, leading to the social inequalities. Indigenous populations and local inhabitants frequently received fewer benefits and faced exploitation and marginalization. Labor exploitation. The development of acquired territories sometimes relied on exploitative labor practices, including the use of enslaved people in American South and indentured labor in various colonies. Here are some examples. Louisiana Purchase. While beneficial for American expansion, it led the forced displacement of Native American tribes, contributing to the Trail of Tears and significant cultural loss. Alaska Purchase. Despite its eventual economic benefits, the environmental impact of resource extraction and the cultural disruption of indigenous communities remain ongoing issues. Panama Canal Zone. US control over the Canal Zone fostered resentment among Panamanians, leading to political unrest and demands for sovereignty, culminating in the eventual transfer of control. Hong Kong Lease. The British colonial period saw economic growth but also led to social disparities and political tensions that continue to influence Hong Kong's relationship with China. These disadvantages underscores the complexities and challenges associated with territorial acquisitions. While they contributed to national growth and strategic advantages, they also involved significant economic costs, cultural conflicts, environmental impact, and political repercussions. Understanding these downsides is crucial for a comprehensive view of historical expansions and their long-term effects on nations and their populations. If you really find this video helpful, please like, share, subscribe my channel. If you have anything to discuss about this topic, you can comment below, and purpose of making this video is just to inform you about that and for nothing else. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.